listen, if you were in front of me and I was like, if we had a cup of coffee or a beer or something, I'd be like, what are you fucking doing with like 25 accounts? Like, just stick to one account, But like,
That's something. That's the shit that bothers everybody so much. And I wonder if I didn't have all these accounts, which honestly you can only have one account, but on W3C you can change your name for $9.99.
so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have the man, the myth, the legend. He is undead turned orc turned night elf turned still night elf, right? Mr. Kuhhhdark. I'm sure chat's gonna have a
Uh,
lot of questions for you tonight, but yes,
no, the infamous one, the friends and the haters.
friends and the haters. Baron wants to see your true furry self tonight.
Okay, well, me and Baron are probably the closest friends on this platform. So,
That's true. Um, so we could touch upon a couple of things before we get into complaining about the game because sometimes that's the fun part.
huh.
I don't even know if I'm going to read that, Baron. Let me read all that stuff after, and then we could talk about that stuff. So Mr. Kuhhhdark, when did I meet you? I met you. I think it's been 2 years now, right?
I don't. I've been playing for a while now, but like this first half was like in the uh. You know what NetEase is?
Yeah,
Have you heard about that? People talking about that.
yeah,
It's like where the Asians would play.
yeah.
That's always my little bookmark of where I was at my like quote unquote peak. So whenever that was, and then I took a long break. So whenever I came back, I'm not sure when I met you. You weren't here when I first came back, but I didn't really know the scene for a little bit. I think the reason I even started to know anybody was because I streamed.
Yeah, I started I was in the game a long time ago like everybody else. And then I guess took a long hiatus and then when I got back I started meeting everybody and I think when I must have talked to you a couple times and then interacted with you when I started casting like Fountain Manor matches in the summer, like 2 summers ago.
Yeah, I'll trust you on that.
And then you started streaming a bit and I think that makes sense. But yeah,
You know what's funny about Baron, actually?
tell
The
me.
first time I ever played Baron, I think Baron had Baron TV in his name, and I've told Spikert about this, and it's we were on Ternistan. I remember this because he had TV in his name, and so did I think. So I was like, oh wow, people stream this game. So I he said, "Good luck, have fun." He's never ever said that since then. So this is like 2 years ago when I was figuring out what was going on, I guess, and that's how much people knew me. If Baron didn't know me, that was someone else because now he always knows if it's me. So yeah, I was straight. I was straight new. I didn't know anybody, and when I played before, I was playing a lot on BNet, obviously, and there were names like Insup, and I remember Carson. There was, I didn't know Hitman, but there was a lot of like and Say So and all them, but I never really had like I do now. I never really had like a straight name. Like I just had like a bunch of different accounts, and
Yes, you
I was
have.
actually I was actually I was, but I don't know. I thought I was pretty good. I went like 40-0. It's just ladder, but I didn't talk to anybody. Believe it or not, like I didn't even know there was Discord for this. I didn't know much about computers. I actually just went to the gym and then work, and then I just play the game. And I thought I was pretty nerdy for playing the game, but it was whatever. And I played Undead, and I really didn't have a lot of balance wine. At least I remember. But I did switch to Night Elf on NetEase because I just felt like it was a little easier. But I
Oh,
thought I was really. I played Insup a few times on ladder, and he would post replays to this site called WCR Replays, and it was like a infamous place for like I don't know if you know who Kodo Forsaken is, and uh, he's a 4v4 player now, but he was famous for just towering and Blade Master, and there was a lot of it was a lot of like Giga Chad internet people on there. So it was like, look who I beat replays and stuff, and that's where I kind of got to know the industry, like the whole uh what's going on a little bit because you could watch pro replays. I watched 120 a lot, and Happy wasn't playing as much when I was around. So 120 was the dude I watched the most, and I remember Insup did some Insup Insup was good. I felt like I mean, and this sounds crazy now, right? I didn't
Mm.
expect anybody to keep playing this game this long. So, of course, they got way better than me. But and I also played a lot more serious back then. But I was actually pretty confident in sub, like on ladder and stuff. Like I didn't really feel like I was like just whatever, you know. Like I knew that he was somebody, but you know, I didn't know the whole inner community. I don't even know what they probably even were talking to each other and stuff on. But um, I, you know, that was just an example, but he would beat some hackers that I couldn't beat with his like shredders, and he was really good with goals. So I looked up to Insta. He rated me one time when I was first starting to stream. He didn't know me, but so Insta was I thought he was really good. That was really one of the only name drops that I can think of. The rest of y'all don't matter. No, I'm just kidding. But I haven't seen anybody before. Like all the people that all the pros and stuff. Like I remember them, and I was so surprised that all of them still streamed the game. But I didn't know any of this community like at all. So I don't even know how long everyone's been playing. Has anybody told you how long they've been playing?
How long they've been
Like
playing?
Glaive and stuff like that.
Well, I haven't gone that far with everybody on the podcast yet, but most people that I know that are playing now, and of the guys I've spoken to, like Floss and Williams and Doom, it was the same thing. Like they played the game when it came out, and then they disappeared for a while, and then they came back, and then they joined the community. And I think a lot of people came back. Like I came back when Reforged came out. Like I was
Mm.
like I when did Reforge come out? Like a couple of years? No, it's been a little bit longer
They
now.
brought you back in, huh?
But I didn't ask for a refund for the game. I just was like, this is terrible. I don't like the graphics. And then you know, like I said in the other episodes, like I ended up watching Back to Warcraft and during my time off, and then
Yeah,
I
they
landed.
were important. Yeah.
Yeah, we touched on that kind of stuff. Like with I without like you said, like who's playing this game all these years later, without Back to Warcraft and the gym community and all these guys like that. I don't think this game sustains life. Maybe there's a player that streams it and people go. Maybe it's Grubby that sustains it and they go. But if there's no Back to Warcraft and like gym community and stuff, like this game wouldn't be played the way it's being played. It's like look at Stormgate. Man, they have like 13 viewers sometimes, and they just came out and it's supposed to be this big thing, and Warcraft still pulls in bigger numbers. So it
Warcraft's got a really close community, and we're all pretty much mature, grown
boomers,
men now.
boomers.
Some of us have still a bit of a younger personality, I guess I'll say that. But I think I think back to Warcraft. I watched because I left Warcraft 3 in the end pretty much because like dude, I'm on NetEase, right? I went to it's kind of like KK. I don't want to say it wrong. The KK client. I don't want to say KKK.
Yeah.
The KKK client or the KK client, whatever. It's kind of like that's where everyone went, regardless of your ping. I even got a VPN. That's how like competitive I was
Mm.
because like if I played from where I was in the middle of Texas, buddy, it was terrible. It was like 300 ping. So I got to like 150, and now if I play 150, I want to throw up. So I'm surprised like that. I was, and also you know they had that weird ratio, right? The was it 4:3,
Yeah.
something like that. Like man, that Zoom thing. So it was. I just didn't like. But who am I going to be friends with? Like they're all Asian. Like and I didn't know any of the NA community. So I honestly, I played the uh, GARENA Canaria Cup, or it was like a Back to Warcraft weekly type of cup. And like I played the Liot, Sonic. Now listen, man. wasn't a great time. But Sonic wasn't as hard. I mean, Lalaya was he shit on me in like 5 minutes. Whatever, who cares?
Hmm.
But like Sonic, I did okay against Sonic, and I remember um that being like the only time I even knew anything about tournaments or anything like that. So like I kind of like started to look for a different game because I didn't think there was anything for NA players. And obviously I didn't really know who to. I know there were CGs. Every time you go to a CG, there's 1v1/2v2. It was either Twisted Meadows or Turtle Rock, and then there'd be a few people that would be like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna 1v." It was like an ego fest,
Right.
and sometimes you just go in there and watch or whatever, and then sometimes you'd hop in, whatever. But that's where all those names that you would know right now play, like all the above 2K players, and uh, but I never really talked to anybody. I would just kind of like chill and like I was just kind of like playing, and I just was like, okay, I guess there's not like a, like now we have your AO Cup, your NA Cup. You've done a lot for the community. You can anybody that feels like making a cup can do it. There's enough community, but like I didn't know back then. I only knew that one little pro slash you have no chance tournament, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna look for a different game. And so I found Siege, and then when I started playing Siege, I got kind of the same reputation as I have now, um, where it comes to being good and not trying. But that's not exactly who I am. But I sometimes I do some like being a lower rank than I really am, blah blah blah. But when that for Siege and all that, have you played Rainbow Six Siege? Yes, no,
No, I played the older stuff. And
like CS:GO and all that.
yeah.
Yeah, it Siege was, and believe it or not, kind of a tactical game, and I know that doesn't really make sense with me, but uh, I had this, I had a ton of friends on there, but also my personality matched a little bit more over there. So I remember transferring over here after like 5 or 6 years of playing really competitive over there, although with my friends, they were just friends, so like they weren't as good, which is why my rank would be low sometimes because I would play with them too, and and I did stupid stuff. Okay, whatever. So I was really competitive with a certain group of friends I had, and then on the other group was just a bunch of friends, and so I had a really hard time putting those two separated. So I wasn't surprised when I started playing now on this game how some people thought, okay, this guy's a little bit better than his rank. He's just tanking, blah blah blah. I had this guy. My stream started to become a little bit of a thing now at from like 11 to 2 because there's not it's kind of fills a gap for people, and there's some guy in Russian that said he told another Russian guy on my chat that he's good but he plays stupid strat. So I was like, I guess people just think that I kind of don't try sometimes, but I try for the most part. This game's a little slow for me. That's why I picked the wrong race with Undead. And do you know who Eugene is?
Yeah.
That was like Grinchy was the first guy I ever met when it came to I'll talk to you next time type thing. I thought Grinchy was really good, and I respected Grinchy a lot. We met on ladder, and I don't remember why we talked because he's not a talker when you play either. So he was first one, and then it was Eugene and Jedi. I don't know if you know Jedi, but Jedi is an orc player. He's part of the Fountain Manor League team, whatever. And Eugene was the other one that accepted who I was. And I remember him telling me when we played some CGs, he was like, "You have good micro, and everything else is terrible." And I was like, "All right, well, whatever." He told me he was the one that told me I don't creep, blah blah blah, and we became good friends. He kind of faded off this game a little bit, but um, I really liked Eugene, and obviously Grinchy was really cool. And I think that's how I found Discord, and then obviously met Wantu at some point in time, who has mixed feelings about me also. So when it comes to which skill level is Kuhhhdark, and I hate having to do this every time. What skill level is Kuhhhdark? So uh, want to he's probably half and half with me too. Uh, but other than that, I guess anybody that's not running a league is okay with me. So um, yeah, that's pretty much how that went. And now I think I started on half and half with you. I think you were like, man, this guy, I don't really know about him. And then I think eventually you were like, whatever,
Listen,
we'll set aside a special ed class for this guy.
listen. When I came in, I obviously I was pretty quiet, but I would pop into voice channels and gym all the time and listen to people. And when I did
That's not the place to go, man.
listen, I don't know these things, but this is like a lot of people would show up. Like some nights there was like 20 people in there, and they're just chatting, and Baron's talking, and everyone's screaming at each other. And you would just listen, and they would be like, Williams is this type of guy, and Kuhhhdark is this type of guy, and Jabba, and they would just talk about people, and then you're like, but I'm getting second and third and fourth hand knowledge of people through other people that I don't know, and I don't like doing that. I like having experiences with people first before I like give them like a. I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. So I don't remember if they said anything about you, but I know
I'm sure they did.
I know, but I know like I remember specifically like Williams. They, if you still hear, like they did bust his balls a little bit, make fun of him, and there was a couple other people, um, and then learn about people in chat, and then obviously learn about people running tournaments and stuff like that. So, and then I mean, listen, if you were in front of me and I was like, if we had a cup of coffee or a beer or something, I'd be like, "Dark, what are you fucking doing with like 25 accounts? Like, just stick to one account, But like,
That's something. That's the shit that bothers everybody so much. And I wonder if I didn't have all these accounts, which honestly, you can only have one account, but on W3C you can change your name for 9.99. And yes, I've changed my name a lot, but I'm not broke either. So I always changed it for a long time because I was like, okay, I'm fucking around too much. I want to try and like, this is my account. This is it right here where I'm gonna keep focused, blah blah blah. And then 10 or 20 games in, I'd be like, fuck, I fucked around too much. Or here I'm doing Fire Lord again or something. So eventually, it turned into a joke. But then people also didn't like because when you play a new account, you're gonna get 80, 80, 80, whatever, or you lose 80, you win 80. So I ended up in a bunch of different MMR brackets and people didn't like that. So, and it wasn't my intention, but I also, you do average out eventually, and I don't know. There was people that thought I was like smurfing, and I've always said that, and like in Siege, I would tell everybody. I was always like, because you just not really the same thing about smurfing, but when people would call out a smurf or something that we were playing against, and I'd be like, well, for a smurf, you have to be good in the first place, and like, dude, I'm not like a 2K player sitting at 1400 for fun or whatever. I'm just playing. So sometimes I remember I played Cage. I played you, and like you guys. I know that you weren't happy about it, but that count I lost my first game in. So then I was like 1400 or something. So it's not like I was like, yo, tank, tank, tank. And then there's the other side where I'm too high because I just got lucky and won too much, and then it makes me look like I'm way better than I really am. So it's the account thing has really been it should be my sorry, my phone's going. It should be my nickname. Doom said Doom gave me a bunch of funny names to make, and but I kind of stopped because it's kind of pointless now
you're you-
because
you're in the
everyone's the
penguin
FBI.
category. Yeah, everyone's the FBI. But you're in the penguin category for skill level, by the way.
Who's what? Penguin is good, dude.
Yeah,
What is wrong with that guy?
you
That
both
guy, does
both
he
of you are good.
play?
Both of you are good. That's what I'm
Does he
saying.
play though?
I don't know. Baron wants to know how you got Williams twice in the night. Then, but Baron does. I don't. I honestly don't remember the last time I checked. But is Penguin Platter at all anymore? Because he plays in the NA
Didn't he
Cups.
beat somebody super good just now in your cup?
There's Penguin. The difference being he doesn't play. He just plays games like randomly. But Penguin, to be fair, Penguin did beat Fear in NA Cup. Was it 3? I don't
Yeah, and the
remember.
Brazilians were saying that because the SA community, I got a lot of feelings about them. But the South American community were also saying that Pierre took it for granted, blah blah blah. He whatever, blah blah blah. And I was like, yo, he got slapped, bro.
I
And I don't know, man. Like
Peng,
Penguin's a pretty high MMR player.
Penguin's in chat, but Penguin, he's got a lot of crafty strategies and very he's the cerebral assassin of Warcraft. He's Triple H of Warcraft. Like he dissects the maps and his matchups and really tries to tailor a strategy to players. To be fair, Fear was drinking, and I think he said he was like 10 or 20 beers in that night. So, um, yeah,
That's
we
sounds healthy.
so yeah, we lost Penguin to Direct Strike Northchakar, but your practices for any
Direct
cups
strike.
and King of the Hill. It's true. I personally, like you and Penguin, are both two players that if you were playing solo exclusively on the one race and doing your thing, you both have a higher ceiling. So
We
you're
I played Penguin in FOML, and I remember we I don't remember the games. I remember the third game because I did win, and I'm gonna say that out loud. But it was I noticed he got human, and his human I kind of stomped his human. So I thought human was his worst race, and it's my worst race. So I even compared myself to him even more because I was like, yo, this guy. He does do some wonky shit. I think he beat Shades with what was that like
MK.
Dreadlord second or something like that, and something else. I don't know. Shades is really good, dude.
He is really
I
good.
remember
I
that
was
I
impressed.
told him about this. I was like, yo, you should play the NA Cup, also FOML, but FOML was done, and he streams on YouTube, and but yeah, I saw him beat Shades, which surprised me, especially because he got Undead. And
Well,
you know how that goes.
Penguin's best races, I would say, are Orc and Undead, and
Right.
then Night Elf, and I think Human may be his worst, but like he tries to do pocket strategies. Yeah, you play Direct Strike, Lich Dreadlord. He does all kinds of different things. He's kind of like the NA Cass. Well, I mean Cass is in NA right now, so that doesn't count. But I was
That's another really good friend of mine. Shout out Cats. I really like
yeah,
talking to
Cass is a
Cats.
good guy. We haven't seen Cass play in a couple of cups, but he did finish in quite a bit of standings in the first 6 of them. So
He told me, well, the last time we were talking, he's talked a few times about how he was really frustrated with Undead. And, you know, he's a 2K MMR random player. And I would say, I've played all his races. I've actually beat him with Orc, and we both do like Stoka loves our replays because we do stupid heroes compared to most people, but he's super like thought out, and he can beat like I actually used his beast like solo beastmaster thing
mm.
against an Orc player of some type of MMR that was high enough for it to be granted, and it was really good. And I'm not even gonna lie, I took it from Cass. I don't know how he thinks of this stuff, but to make Undead remotely entertaining is pretty crazy. So he's always been really cool. I hated playing him when I first started to be in his MMR. Like the first few times I played him, he acolyte rushed me. He did a bunch of weird shit. And I was so pissed off. And then eventually, I realized obviously I had nothing against him. It was just his gameplay. But his undead mirror is probably his worst. But that's because you can only do so many things. But he also said that he wanted to play orc for against the like elf, for example. He felt like there was not a lot of things he could do against elf right now. So
yeah, I
yeah, the balance thing.
that's the thing I was I'm trying to wrap my head around. It's past your bedtime now, largemouth base. It could be. Is Undead versus Night Elf. I have a GNL matchup tonight. I don't not
Who do you
really
play?
I'm playing Longhorn. Is that the name of the
Yeah, no
player?
idea.
As a Night Elf player, like I'd feel more comfortable playing Orc, but I committed to playing Undead against him. So my Undead
I
versus
thought you're
Night
an
Elf.
undead player now.
Yeah, but I mean I still go back and forth, right? It's just I could beat Elf with Orc. I struggle tremendously with Undead versus Elf, and my pocket strategy is Crypt Lord Firelord, which I stole from Slay, and I was
Dude, I seen you play with Fire Lord, and I'm the only one allowed to play Fire Lord. I'm kidding. I think that I remember I was playing Alchemist second for a while, just all the time. And I guess I remember I played a 2v2, and Grinchy said that was Kuhhhdark because what Undead goes Alchemist second. And I don't know how he knew, unless he was watching my streams or something. But a lot of times people don't, don't talk when they watch streams. So I I know Spike Reed was laughing about that too because like who does Alchemist second? Like there's a lot of different things you can try, and I think Firelord like against Orc is pretty good second, but yes, Night Elf and Undead is you're either winning or you're losing, man. There's just not an in between.
Well, Alchemist is good against Wyvern, right? So you see Happy go like Death Knight,
Yeah, I would
Alchemist,
go with, like
Lich.
Alchemist Fiends and shit. Yeah, I would do.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was, but I didn't really care. But it worked a lot. I
So
tried it against Elf, didn't work. But
yeah, so I mean, Crypt Lord, Fire Lord, or Crypt Lord in general doesn't work against Night Elf unless you get lucky with Necropolis and Acolyte Rush or towers and that kind of stuff. But then they build the elf, if they know what they're doing, they'll start building AOWs everywhere or Moonwells and those type of things. So from my short amount of experience playing Undead versus Elf, it doesn't work right now for me. Largemouth Bass wants to. Can we watch Kuhhhdark play? You want to watch him play tonight? Because he's not playing on my stream. He's in my Discord. That's what that's what we're doing.
why would you want to watch me play? There ain't nothing too
See?
exciting about that.
You want to watch him
The
play Firelord?
Firelord is the best hero in the game, guys. You don't
It.
understand.
I love
There,
the update on that hero because it makes it so. Yeah, like not everybody's going Naga all the time. You can actually go say, "I'm gonna go get Firelord now," and you could, Night Elf started going Firelord first, which is kind of a nice change of pace sometimes. But
I like that one too. I feel like as the elf against undead, it's kind of frustrating to play. But when I was playing undead, that's kind of where I even got some of my MMR from. I was like 30% against I don't know orc, and it was like 45, just random numbers. And then against elf, there was a season where I was 75%, and it was over. Like I mean, everyone plays elf. I was like maybe 60 and like 20. I don't know the numbers, but something crazy. And I remember telling Wantu, I was like, hey man, because this was before the season draft or whatever, and I was like, listen, this isn't my MMR. This is just elves. They just give me MMR. And it was because of that 9-minute push. I did mine really fast, and I would win games with 1-1-1 heroes, which became a little joke. And I just pushed as fast as I could with just goals, and usually you bring fiends. I would just do straight goals. It was terrible. I know Sarai, like since Sarai, I don't know where he's been by the way,
he's
but
disappeared for a
Sarai would
bit.
watch. You, huh?
He's disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah, he has, right? He watched my streams all the time back then. He was he was like a little VIP dude. Sarai was one of the first players I met that kind of was remotely similar to me at voicing his opinions. Um, he gets. I always felt like he got away with it, and I didn't. Because honestly, I feel like he's a little bit worse than me. That guy, especially with N Williams, like and Sarai just says anything like, and I really don't talk that much. I think the thing I do the most to piss people off is accounts. So I don't know, but I did feel like Sarai was funny. So to me, but anyways, so I remember playing Sarai in like FML or something like that, and he made like two Ancient of Wars, went like Immolation 2, which wasn't even a thing yet, and I know Hoster. I don't know if you're in the Night Owl Discord, but me and him don't like each other, and there's a lot of people that don't like Hoster. But he's. I remember hearing him interview with Grinchy or somebody about how he studied my replays because he saw my stupid percentage, and it was really frustrating because I played him, so he completely countered me, and I was like, why does this guy know everything? So then we didn't like each other. We still don't. But that's that matchup has completely switched now, and that push is way harder. And if you don't win in that push, you're kind of effed. Like Night Elf, if you're talking about undead, Night Elf, human, and orc, depending on what they do, just have better armies, and it's not really a balance thing. It's just they just have better armies, so you can't really win uh, after a certain point with undead. Right now, I feel like people always say late game undead's scary, but
I
I
think
mean,
I
a
think the
Coral Nova
most
maybe.
yeah, I think the most scary thing about undead generally is the nukes coming from the heroes. So I like you're if you got I mean if they're creeping properly in undead and they're pressuring you and those type of things like late game high hero levels from the undead, just the nukes are gonna your army's gonna melt, right?
Hmm.
Let's see some action. It's large mouth base. We're doing the podcast version, and
Who
then
is it? I'm not in chat, but who is this guy?
large
Is he a
mouth
good guy?
base. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, okay.
fantastic interview. Let's see some action. Penguin wants to know what does Kuhhhdark think about AKM.
I've played AKM so many times, man, and uh, I think I played him more than anybody else that has a recognizable name. And uh, AKM, I feel like AKM. Like there was one game I won, but like he was cool about it because I massed meat wagons. Like I just made like 90 meat wagons, and it wasn't really trying to BM him. I was just trying to make it like a joke because it was like whatever. Because he, I think AKM would be a way better player if he would buy a TP and if he just microed a tiny bit, not a lot, just a little bit. And I know he's insane in Human Mirror, but I beat him with Night Elf. At first, I was scared of him with Night Elf because he tower rushes all the time, but I haven't really watched him play Night Elf very much at all, so I didn't know if he still did it or not. And um, I beat him with Night Elf. Like I just had a weird night where I was decent. I played Fire Lord first, Keeper second, weird shit. And he left on the third game because I won 2 times in a row with Elf, and I was like, that was way easier than Undead. But with Undead, also he has some problems with Undead too. I don't know. He's a fun guy. He always thinks on shit hacking,
You
and
shit hacker.
yeah, he especially if you move your acolytes. Don't you dare move those. I actually have two different control groups for my acolytes when I have at an expo. So when you get the little notification, I'm just push my thing, whatever key I have for that expo, and move them. And if God forbid, two of them die, three live, you're hacking, you're dead. So yeah, he's. I didn't know him though back in the day. I remember his name for doing weird stuff like the sheep block on Turtle Lock and all that, but I didn't know him, like play him a lot. But I definitely play him all the time now. He's fun to play. Yeah, he if he stopped going rifles, he's a good player. He started to do knights and stuff, which was kind of hard. And then he has this weird strat too that he should play way more because it matches his blood mages, uh, mass griffins, and like it's a regular strat now, but mass griffins, and then just literally focus a hero with banish. It's insane. I don't even think he knew, but it's
He's
insane. So
he's a definitely an interesting character, and he's another guy that has a higher ceiling because it's fine. Like it's really cool that he does the blood mage stuff and he invisible AOE coming
that's a
and all that
lie.
stuff.
That's a lie, Mike. Mike, I played him the other day and I went pot him first. Okay, so it's a stupid game, whatever. He, because I was gonna do mass hunts because I thought he was gonna tower rush me. He went Archmage first.
Yeah, he does that sometimes, but I'm saying
I,
if he occasionally did some of the meta stuff, depending on some races and matchups, and mixed in the orange bird stuff, I I think he has a higher ceiling.
he beat Inspired, and Inspired's like what a 22k off cocaine type player because he's like 16, still has a brain and all that.
Hmm.
So yeah, um he beat him, which was a really big deal. For I remember him watching the replays, enjoying it. And I don't know how competitive AKM is, to be honest. People that stream, you kind of have to be competitive or not. It's kind of hard to stream and play this game at the same time, let alone just play the game by itself.
But he
So that's another thing with me is since I stream a lot, I get distracted by chat. I also tilt way more on stream. I don't tilt that much off stream, but on stream I get really mad when stupid stuff happens. But I feel like it's a way different game So it's I don't even know how Grubby talks like he does and plays at the same time. That's impossible.
Wow,
But
he's on
AKM,
autopilot for that. Like he
dude, I tell you what, man, because when I can't listen, hey, it's hard to play this game and talk at the same time. It's crazy.
no no
So he
you could do it
AKM, I don't really
and
know.
lose. You could do it and lose. No
Exactly. Yeah,
problem,
you
right?
can losing on stream is really easy. Don't trust me. It's really easy. If you can get over 2K streaming, I think you're actually like I think streaming like takes away at least 100 and more, which is why I had another account too, because I always be like, okay, this will be streaming and this will be for real, and it never ever worked out.
I win
So
I win my best games on stream. I always lose quite a bit off stream.
must be nice.
And I made strides with Undead. Like I got to 1538 the other day. I beat Williams on while he was streaming.
I saw that on your game list. God damn it!
And
I look at game list all the time.
then after I beat Williams in that game, I went on to lose every other game I played for like a whole day. So I'm on a huge losing streak right now. Glaive
Oh yeah, because I
says,
heard you say that.
yeah.
Yeah, you said something about how I've never lost so much on stream. That's when I checked your game list, and I didn't see you play Aiden Williams, but I wonder if he complained or if he just was like maybe it happened.
No,
I have a
like he was surprised I won, and so was I because he'd canceled my gold mine. And I was trying to expand. He canceled a couple times, and then I think he had me on the ropes for a while. I couldn't stop his expansion. Expansion went up, and I was creeping. And then I think I just changed up my army. Every time I saw what he was doing, I tried to avoid him and change up my army, and then it ended up with like a mix of like banshees and wagons and necros and fiends and ghouls and destroyers. Like I had the whole 9 yards. Abomination, disease cloud, and so I think I wore him down. But then yeah,
I have a
after
clip of Aiden Williams when I was first starting to play, and Eugene was watching, and he mentioned Aiden Williams, and I guess he didn't know me, or maybe he just knew my name, but I didn't know him yet. And there's a clip uh, of I guess Eugene thought it was like really funny that I manner hauled him like in front of his base because I was orc and he was like it's in Will and I'm like am I supposed to know this guy or something like that, I was like I didn't know, and he was raging in chat and I didn't really care. He was like yo if I wasn't rusty I'd shit on you blah blah blah, and I didn't care about that because that stuff doesn't bother me, but it was funny to see now because this is like 2 years ago. It's still on my channel, and that's how I met Nate. And then me and Nate have always been hot and cold. I'm sure I get on his nerves every now and then, but we tried 2v2. He told me I suck, and it is what it is.
2v2
So
is hard to play. Like you don't have to be the best player, but you gotta be. It's its own entity. Like 2v2, it's not FFA. It's not solo. Like there's certain things you got to do, and you got to be a team player, and you got to communicate. Like I tried with Williams a couple of times. I just suck in general.
that guy's a bully in
But
2v2, man. If
but
you don't do,
teams, yeah.
yeah, he's hard to play with because if you're not on point, man, he's gonna tell you.
Yeah, but you need to be on point. That's the thing. Like you need somebody who's like your equal or your like you just work with. You need chemistry, right? You need chemistry. So
I
that's
played 2v2 by myself just for like 1 or 2 games. And actually, one of the games I played with was X Lord. And I didn't know it was him. I thought it was a fake name because, it's his XEXE name or whatever.
yeah.
But he was playing Night Elf and he played exactly like I did on 2v2 with the Dryad shit. And that's kind of where I started to like Night Elf was 2v2. I felt like Undead takes too long in 2v2 sometimes. So to like get going. And it was Undead and Humans terrible combination. So because N Williams is kind of struggles on like T1, and then T2 he's okay, and then T3 he's really good. So I was just there to kind of like give him time, and then he would carry,
It
obviously.
carries you to the end. Every once in a while, you need a condescending old man on a horse, eh, Glaive? Exactly. But if you guys have questions you want to ask, this is what it's about. We're here. You can ask questions. And going forward, I mean, we don't. I mean, we're pretty sure that there's a Warcraft 2 reforged or remastered version coming out.
I never played Warcraft 2 actually, or
I
is this Warcraft 2 as in Warcraft number 2? or is
Well,
this like Warcraft 2, like like before Warcraft 3?
there's
You
Warcraft,
know?
Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, right?
Yeah, so is Warcraft. Why? That's kind of an interesting decision.
I've mentioned to other people. I think after being the acquisition from Activision and then Microsoft buying Activision, and they like when you buy something, you got to use the assets up. So they're probably going to try to milk out the assets as much as possible. I don't think Warcraft 2 is going to be a big money generator like at all. I would imagine a new RTS game, like if they were developing Warcraft 4 and trying to push at the same time as Stormgate and all these RTSs that are coming out. I think that would make more sense because then you can really go along with the merchandise and the movies and do all that stuff at the same time and get a good story going. But I don't think they're going to do it, but we can
You ever
hope.
played RTS Rise of Nations?
It
Remember that?
sounds
Have you ever?
familiar.
It's similar. Microsoft made it actually. I
Rise of
played that. I forget that I had a really long stint with that game. You pick a nation. It's kind of similar, I guess, similar to Age of Empires, but not really. Uh, yeah, Microsoft made that, and online was terrible, but whatever. I forgot to mention that, so it wasn't like this was my first RTS, but
There's
I
a
played this in my friend's house when I was like ninth grade,
yeah.
and I was like super competitive, and he didn't like the game like that, but whatever. And I just started playing, and I played AI and all that stuff. I liked free for all,
Yeah.
and um, that was now free for all gives me a headache. Like it's too much stuff going on at one time. I can't even find my own army. But I did try out for the FM, whatever you call it,
Oh,
Masters League.
the Masters League, yeah.
That's because it was one of the only things I could find. So I was like, whatever, I'll just play this. And I really looked up to there was an undead guy. Jesus, what's his name? Man, I don't remember his name. He's
Godfather.
really good. He won a lot.
Godfather.
No, it started with the. He made undead look good type of player. I don't know. I forget his name.
Well, who plays Undead? There's
Um,
Nightwing. Does Nightwing
that's
play
Duck,
Undead?
right?
I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't seen a lot of the guys play in a long time now.
I don't know any of these other guys. I don't remember them, but I'm sure they've been playing forever. Free for all, I mean. That's a whole nother atmosphere right there, man.
Well, the game, like,
I was never really good at the minute part. I was usually the guy that would get teamed because I would win against my neighbor or whatever, and then I'd get teamed, and I didn't understand why, but obviously there's a reason why. So, yeah. Undead's
it's
really
like
hard
playing
in free
Risk.
for all, too.
Yes, but
I
that's why you get Banshees or Dark Ranger, and you possess the other race.
That's the other exactly. I'm sure it's super advanced now. I'm sure. I don't know free for all at all anymore, but back then it was just to get your triple 10 if you were lucky,
Yeah.
and then just pray because you obviously it was tanks, chims. Like Elf had the easiest army in the world. The only problem that sucked for them is that there's still splash damage from chims back then, and so if you had a melee hero, it could hurt them. And then Orc, I remember playing the only free for all I played actually on your channel was uh I think I won. I got pinched in a corner and I thought I was next to Dr. Jones, but I was next to Glaive, I think. Oh, Penguin or someone like that. And I remember just rolling in Williams and he complained about Orc and free for all and he's not lying. That's broken, man. So I don't know. Free for all is you definitely have to know like way past late game. You have to know everything about the game. So
Yes. Yes, you do. I don't think the game's really balanced for free for all. I think at that point, triple 10 heroes and they just own all your units and stuff. But then it's a whole other beast. But going forward, we're gonna ask you some questions about Warcraft, about the people. First, what's your favorite unit?
Dryad.
Dryad? Any reason?
I'll make Dryads work against rifles. I don't care. I'm just
All
kidding.
right,
No,
Dryad.
it's
Is it Dryad?
yeah, Dryad.
Okay,
Yeah, it
Dryad.
is. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Who's your favorite player, current or past?
Damn. Hmm. I would say, I guess, simply because when I was actually really competitive, when I watched 120 a lot, and Happy came along and made him look human. But I guess 120, uh, yeah, I've always thought 120 was funny because he trolls sometimes, and I like that about him. And like he'll just like do some stupid shit, and yeah, so probably 120. He also beat Happy with Elf and Orc, so he was respectable, man. Yeah, probably.
120. I like it. It's a good choice. And going forward, do you have any MMR I was going to say expiration aspirations? Is there do you have a goal in mind? Are you playing silly? Do you want to
No,
master Night Elf? Do you want to become a
I
2K
want
Night
to
Elf player?
master Night Elf. Unfortunately, right, everyone plays Night Elf. Right now, no, I have no MMR expert. I just want to stop tilting against certain things as a new Elf player, uh, like Mirror Image and Banish, and it's just a whole nother race. That's the thing when you switch races. I've always played different races, but never was. I refuse to learn human. If I played human remotely competently, I'd probably be just a random player, honestly. But I can't play human to save my life because I just never want to. I don't mind pally rifles, but who doesn't, you know?
I
So
cannot win
I
against pally rifles.
I think we played, right? An unfit pally rifle? Yeah.
We may
It's
have.
impossible, man. It's so imba. Rifles are just insane, man.
Who Doom did it
My
to
army
me.
is better than your army.
Yeah, pretty much. Doom did it to me the other day on ladder when I was on that losing streak, and like I knew I was gonna lose, so I was just like, let me try something different. So I was like, Farseer, Shadow Hunter, Mass Catapults, and Kodos, and it was kind of working. I just couldn't sustain because I didn't have an expo.
Oh,
But
you're orc?
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have an expo, and
That's
he
hard
did.
too. I thought it was Kodos, right? I think mass grunts and Kodos and shit like that, right?
I don't know, so I was just messing around. But there you go.
Yeah, that's a strat that'll tilt people a lot. So
Yeah, I don't
I
get
was getting all
like.
types of names on BNet. I had a stream where I just played it on BNet, and I was getting cussed out every
well,
game
well,
for playing Pally Rifle.
well, you go Pally Rifle and become 2K.
Exactly. There's some players that I've heard done that already. So
So there you go. I mean, Saul Eight Man's
I don't
got the
know,
Pally
man.
Rifle University there, and he's training everybody.
Yeah, because no disrespect to Sal, I like Sal, whatever, but man, his other races are not even close to 2K. So, and I remember playing him. He was an orc player for a while. I don't even think he had started his Pally journey. And I hated playing him because he would lame with air and towers, and then his stupid bio was something about balance. It's always about balance, baby, or something like that, and it made me tilt even more. Yeah, I don't
he's
remember.
he's a
Yeah,
he's a funny guy though. But he's I think last time I saw his MMR, I think his human with Pally Rifles is highest, and then it's like Night Elf and Orc is like
his
1600,
night elf is
1780.
terrible, but
Is
I
it
was
his?
undead. I mean, whatever.
Well, it's terrible. His
Uh,
night he could beat me with any of his races at this point.
Okay, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I know that probably came off wrong. His night elf isn't bad. Okay, it's just it wasn't as good as I thought it'd be because he's a 2K player. But I think he had some. Spiker's a big fan of him, so he would give me updates for no reason. Apparently, I think he was trying to go 1800 with every race. So, I think Orc is the second best race actually.
Yeah, he's pretty good all around though. It's good though. Once you have a feel of all the races, you kind of helps
Yeah,
you.
you would think, man. There's some stuff like I hate playing undead as night elf, and uh, it's a learning thing. Because man, when I play night elf, I feel like I'm just getting deleted if I can't play undead anymore. I try sometimes, and I just picked the wrong race and played the race for way too long. I picked a race that requires like you have to creep, you gotta know like when to be aggressive or not. It's all about timings, and you're not really in control, but you kind of are. And it's like I was always uh someone that creep jacks a lot, blah blah blah. Like in Siege, I always wall banged a lot, which means you shoot someone through a wall because I was predicting people, and it was something that didn't really make sense because I did it so much. But it's the same thing with creep jacks, and if you creep jack somebody in this game, they're gonna be mad. So that's why I also got a little bit of a name too, because I creep jack a lot, and with Undead, you can only do so much. But with Night Elf, you can have some dryads and stuff, and DH is obviously a balanced hero. So yeah, but right now, I don't really have too much balance concerns. I still can't stand human. I just think that it's a mana game with infinity mana, and you got one hero that will always lock down, and if you don't, you got another one that will. And I don't know. Besides human, just being human in general, I think mirror image and banish, no cooldown type stuff. Mirror image has got to go, bro, some type of way.
Well,
But
I think the mirror image change ideas was good because it was very underutilized.
I think they need to
And
change just how much you can spam it.
well, I
It's like,
mean,
well, I don't even know how much it is. It's like
do you,
5 mana or something like that.
for mirror image,
Feels like it.
isn't it
Like
somewhere
somebody
between
that's
100 and
remotely
150?
competent.
How much is it?
150? No way, dude.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
There's no way. That thing, every time I play an orc, they're spamming that thing.
Let me look it up
And then
right
there's
now.
3 of them. Or they should make it where it's a little bit more obvious of which one you're hitting. Because literally, like, you don't know until you're already hit him like 4 times if it's the right one or wrong one. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I just hit the wrong one every single time.
All right, mirror image. It is 80 mana. Takes 3 seconds. Duration is 60 seconds, and then the number of illusions is 1, 2, and 3 on skill levels.
Yeah, duration is what? I mean, it's a cooldown of what?
Hold on.
What'd you say? Oh, I thought you said 5 seconds or something.
Oh, thanks for the follow. It says mana is 80 seconds, takes 3 seconds to cast, and duration, a mirror image lasts 60 seconds.
Yeah, lasts a minute. And if you have a stacked BM, you can kill a wisp actually just by literally putting it in the base.
Right, so you
So,
force
and it works
detonations.
against undead too. It works against undead too. It's
Well,
not just
well,
night
the
elf.
thing is, it's dispellable and it gives experience, right? So,
Oh, oh my god. Okay. Yeah, it gives you like 10.
but it gives experience, right? And illusions deal.
Sure.
I thought it was 15, but it says 20% Blade Master's original damage. Does it do 20 or 15?
Feels like it does 40. No, it's the biggest problem is it tanks too much, and it's just spammable.
Well,
It's just very spammable.
what's interesting is that it's literally a mirror image of your Blade Master. So, if you put more life items on your Blade Master, he's got more life to tank.
Yeah, and you have more damage too. Yeah, it's literally
So,
just a
it's
tiny little midget.
but it's one of those. Well, level low mana, level 3 is bad to deal with. Kind of, yeah. Well, you need mana, right? That's the thing. But um, it's one of those
Stickler
things.
told you know who Stickler is?
Yeah. Stickler's the man with no
Yeah,
shirt.
Stickler, because I asked Stickler stupid questions just because I like to piss him off. And one of them was literally because I'm learning Elf, and I was like, Stickler, by the way, I played Stickler a lot with Undead. He's really good against Undead. So his micro is very good for, he has very good micro. It's probably with the juice he takes with the muscles. But
Hmm.
he told me that, um, if once, because I was like, what do you do about Mirror Image 3? And he said, leave the game. So I think yeah, and I was like, thanks, man, because that's what I felt like too. Like it's ridiculous. So I don't know.
Against
That's a
Elf,
2K elf right there.
I will sometimes go Windwalk crit into mirror image if I need it, especially if they go talons and stuff. So it has its perks, it has its moments. You can make it work against human, and I see more people using that with Shadowhunter and Headhunters. I have yet to do that because usually it's Farseer is the go-to for most orcs. So it's not used in all situations. It's not used all the time, but you can't go. You only can go Farseer Blade Master. Really, you can't go TC Shadowhunter first. You generally don't do that. right? But
Oh, don't you worry though. Against Undead, you can go TC first and just literally kill the whole base with Shockwave.
but
It's a
majority
great time.
majority of players can't do that, right? So it's not
Thank
often,
God.
right? But Night Elf can literally go any hero first, and Undead can go Crypt Lord, Death Knight, or Lich first, correct? So, and then you're looking at Orc, and you just like you got the two heroes to go first. Human could go Archmage, Blood Mage, MK first, and they can go Paladin first if they're going Pally rifles. So they have more versatility.
Dude,
Orcs,
every human
orcs,
has a counter to every unit.
yeah, they do. And Orc is kind of pigeonholed into those two heroes. They can't go, they can't go the other two heroes. Those are support heroes, even though they're very good. Like Shadowhunter 3 and up is fantastic, or TC level 3 and up is fantastic, right? But those are support heroes. They're not. You can't go. You can't go. You can't make them go first. So like even before, let's say, go back to before a mirror image was buffed and changed. You were really like stuck with Farseer because you can't go Blade Master against human generally. You just can't because you're gonna get screwed. And then now all these people, if you're Blade Master, a lot of times you're gonna get Tower Rush. So it's one of those things. I think it's a good change. Maybe the damage on the mirror image is too high. Maybe the duration's too long. Perhaps.
I think it's just the cooldown's too short. That's all.
There you go. So
And like
you heard it
your only
here.
counter is wisps. Your only and then it takes like 3 Destros to dispel eventually like all of them after a certain level. I don't know which level it is. Probably just level 2 actually.
Yeah, but
And
Undead has now Dispel on tier 2 without Destroyer, so
I feel
they,
like I'm one of the only people that ever use that thing.
it's not
I
used
know
often.
that. Yeah, I think it's really good, especially if you're pushing an orc that has hex or something like that. I can't stand playing Wyvern. Disengage did that to me a lot, and he found out that I suck against it. So I kept thinking of different ways to play against that shit when I would play it on ladder, and eventually I just started rushing and with a Fire Lord second. I was an Alchemist for a while. It was when I was doing stupid. When you play like a stupid strat, and then you keep playing different stuff, then that you'll find something that works. Like for a while, I was doing Dreadlord like 3 shops, in this mana pot after a mana pot, and against human, and then I started pushing orc. I was like with 3 fiends or whatever, and then I found out that item is pretty good because you can just dispel that or the wolves. So it's pretty strong. And that item, if it's used right, or if you don't have, I've seen Happy do it. If you're playing elf, and you obviously can't make a Destro because you'll just lose it, then you can use that to dispel a reju or something like that. The only thing I don't like about it is really wonky on the distance you need to be from something, so you can take damage because your DK is usually the one that might have it, or someone, whatever hero has to go step in front a little bit too close to do it. I wish it was a little bit farther away in range, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Did you
But I don't have a
prefer
lot of complaints about balance. I don't think there's a lot. I think whatever human, sure. I think besides, there is definitely a stereotype between races though. Like, um, I know that you play orc if you're tired, don't really care. It's just whatever. You play elf if you feel like you just want to play. There's a pro player that had his name Race DH, and I laugh because that's kind of how I play elf too. Although I've been changing it up, but I at first I only played DH Dryads. I've changed that now, but so if you want to be aggressive, just play elf or whatever. And if you want to undead, if you want to have a terrible time, but maybe nuke something, sure. And then with human, if you just want to win, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So there's a bunch of different. I know human will complain about their peasants and stuff, but because I can't think of much more that's super vulnerable for them. But you have to have something, I guess. So like I saw Harston play a human the other night because I guess Warden is a thing right now
yeah.
against human, and you would think someone that likes to Dota as much as me. There's a lot of inside jokes on my stream about how I don't make units, and I'll have like a K gold, and I'll use it on items for my heroes. And so you would think I'd be cool with Warden, but I feel like she's super dangerous. Like I just feel like I'm gonna get rushed every time I play her. But I guess if you don't and you make it through, I know the human was complaining about this Hearthstone about how he had 3 arcane powers at his base, and he still was able to kill the peasants. So I guess you know there's always something.
Well,
And
you go an anti magic shield. You drop in with your warden and you fan and ice.
it sounds amazing,
Right?
man.
You just kill everything.
You
Yeah.
can hear Ann Williams in the background just losing his shit.
Well,
Look at this.
that's the first sound when I play the music for the pod episode. It's peasants dying.
That's great.
You click on
That's
it. You go on the YouTube channel. You see one of the episodes. You press play, and the music is I mashed it together. It's a peasants dying into some music, and then it goes to the bell sound from the hall. Yeah,
That's great. What made you pick Undead, by the way? Because, like, why did you
because
just become better with it?
because I play like I've been now that it's been a couple seasons, and for a long time I was stuck at 1300 with Orc. And then, granted, I don't play a lot, right? So sometimes I only play like 1 or 2 games a week, so I really don't get any games. So I really have to maximize my learning opportunities. And then I started getting frustrated because I was always losing, and I'm like, let's change it up, let's change it up, let's do this, let's try this. And then
That sounds like me.
I started playing random, and we'll lose with random, but then you start getting certain matchups, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. And then I think Norchikar one time was like, just pick Criplord, and I was on stream, so I picked Criplord, and I started winning some games. And then at some point, after I checked, I was like, you know what? Because I had dabbled in Night Elf a little bit when I first started out, and my Night Elf was actually better than my Orc. I think my Night Elf, when I started, well, because I didn't know, then I started playing it a little bit, like small sample size, was like 1450, and my Orc was like 1300, but I was playing Orc all the time, and I guess with a bigger sample size, whatever. So then fast forward doing random, doing Criplord. Then I was like, okay, I've got enough games behind my belt. I suck with human. I'm tired of getting human all the time and losing. And my Night Elf was just not doing anything. So I was like, let me go try Undead. And then if I bounce between the two stats, I think it was last season or the season before, last season, I think my Criplord win percentage was like 92%. So
Damn.
I was like, I'm on to something here. Like even if I lose some matches,
I'm onto something.
I'm on to,
Maybe I win.
I'm winning. And then what I would do is just I'd get Criplord, I would expand, or I'd go pressure. Like with Orc, you have your Farseer, you're gonna go pressure the human expo, right? Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But with the Criplord, you have a better opportunity to really prevent the human from doing anything. So there's a matchup like, man, I've really tilted the scale back in my favor playing against humans, and against Orc it goes really well, and sometimes against Undead it's not bad depending if you catch them with their pants down. But it's just Night Elf that I'm running into issues because I haven't figured out what I'm good with against Night Elf. Criplord doesn't work. Like it just doesn't work. So I have to maybe do Dreadlord or something like that.
You can do Dreadlord. I did it against Sav because I do a bunch of stupid strats or whatever, and Sav would beat me a lot with mass air, and it was super frustrating because he had his. It was hippos hippo archer people things that no one uses, and but then it wasn't even a troll. Like he literally did it, and they do so much damage at three attack upgrades, and so eventually, I started going Dreadlord with 3-0 goals and just surrounding his heroes instead. And you can do that. I mean, there's stupid stuff you can do, especially Elf. A lot of Elves complain about how they're the easiest to get cheesed. I don't think that's true. I think Undead is, but I feel like Orc is probably the least race to get cheesed because of their burrows and towers. But
Well, I get cheesed as Orc versus Orc,
yeah, whatever, die. Yeah, that's
right?
just mirrors, whatever. Yeah,
I suck with that. That's what uh, Undead versus Night Elf. I'm terrible at, and Orc versus Orc. I'm not good at. And Norchikar's in chat, and he says he matched me against Night Elf, and he says it's proof that he rigged GNL.
he read G now. Isn't I don't. I'll tell you one thing, Mike. All right, because
Yeah,
I hadn't told you yet, man. All
yeah.
right, but
All
this
right,
is perfect time to tell you.
tell me.
So I played you. All right, I had switched. I had changed my name or whatever.
Okay.
So you were my first game, and I was playing Undead, and you beat me. So
What was the name?
I don't remember the name. I remember the map. It was Warhill, and I was playing Dreadlord, and I
Was
was
that
playing solo Dreadlord.
was that this season?
It was yeah, it was recently. I mean, kind of recently. I don't know. At some point in time, and you had good micro because
Which
I thought I could just like literally, what you call it? I just because you make it whatever. I would like go into your base and like shit on your acolytes or whatever, and you came over with like three fiends and like I don't know, like pretty much nothing. And I was
oh
like, whatever, I'll
you
just bring over my
you
units.
were Angry
And you
Kitten.
was I Angry Kitten?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Angry Kitten. And so then I got I got stomped. Yeah, I lost or something like that. And I
I,
was like, damn, dude, I
I
remember that. I remember during the game, I was like, wait, shit, am I actually losing the mic right now?
I
I was
I
like,
made I made this new account and then Mike just destroyed my new account.
I don't think of them as MMR challenges, but I definitely I stopped using that one because I forgot I had Grumpy Kitten or whatever from forever ago when I played. That's one of my first names that W3C put on, and I was like, oh well, I can't have Kitten in my name now. I don't know what else I can have, but I still did play. You did, and you kind of like. I thought I could just a click because people, back used to do that to me to a fucking dreadlord, and you did a really good job. And I was actually kind of surprised that your micro was pretty good. And then I was just like, dude, I'm losing.
Y-
Like, okay, I
and
guess I
you're only
lost.
you're only telling me now.
I didn't feel like telling that one, man. Okay.
Just so
I
much
don't.
so is after when we're done, I'm going to pull up that replay and we're going to watch it.
I played pretty bad, but I thought not disrespectfully, but I thought I could just kind of do whatever. But when you can't, you pushed me, and you just kind of killed everything, and I was like, well,
Well, that's the thing
I
is
was like,
I scout it probably, and I'm like I'm gonna go push him now because I have an opportunity to at least cripple you or destroy you. That's what I do with Criplord, and with beetles and skeleton rod, like without dispel early on, like you could really overwhelm somebody to a point where like you either destroy them or back them into a corner where they're like so behind on their it's just economics and everything, and maybe your skill level for your heroes going up. But against Night Elf, you can't do that. Hey, Snot Bubbles, what's up, fellow neckbeards? And Penguin says most players on ladder are just Kadalk alternate accounts.
yeah, exactly. No, I've heard that joke a few times. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. If you don't know them, and it has a USA flag, it's probably Kuhhhdark. People probably thought they beat me before because they think the name's stupid and it's me. But it's not like beating me is hard. But yeah, no, I was doing me and Cass used to do it to each other all the time. He started using Panda, but I still did it when I went Invis, and I just wanted to do that all game, literally. But that map is huge. I think the map was a good map for
It's a weird
not doing that.
it's a weird map.
But I still wanted to do it, and yeah, I got humbled.
Well,
Definitely, because I remember the big fight, and I just literally brought everything over. And then I was like, shit, I'm gonna lose. So I tried to make heroes at the end, and they didn't do shit because they're like level 1 heroes. And then I was like, damn, luckily he doesn't know it's me. He just shit on me.
you,
So yeah,
you know
there's Dark right there.
you know what's funny is that guy I'm playing tonight for GNL, I actually played him a couple of days ago on ladder and I lost him in a 23-minute game. So I definitely gonna have to do my homework soon and figure out.
For Elf,
Yeah, he was elf. I didn't know I played him. I just looking at the game history now, and he beat me in a game that lasted 23 minutes. So
I think against Elf, you either if you don't want to play DK, you have to play Lich. So it's either DK or Lich, and you can do Gargs, but Gargs are you really kind of have to know how to play Garg. You have to be doing it for a long time to know how
yeah,
to play Gargs
I don't
correctly.
I
I
don't have
hate playing Gargs.
I don't have Baron skills to do Garg, so I can't do that.
Yeah, I will give Baron his credit on Gargs because I think also I'm sure that he was pissed off about that scroll of healing getting taken away. But
Well, then
I
it.
when I've tried to play Gargs, like Grinchy beat me when I tried to play Gargs. So beat me pretty good too. Not
Yeah.
Sarai though. Sarai lost to solo cripple.
Hey, listen, things happen. Some players, some things can beat them, some things can't beat them.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
No, but definitely, yeah. I was just Destro Guard fiend guy, and yeah. But I think if you learn Gargs, elves hate that with a
Yeah.
passion. So
Well, I gotta figure out the basics first, and then maybe that will get me past out of the 1500 hole. But that's how she goes, boys. I figure if I'm able to play enough games, even just as orc, eventually I will muster more skill. I just can't. I'm the type of player that if I don't play for 5 days, I immediately lose everything I gained, and I
oh,
have
that's
to.
all of us do.
No,
Yeah.
but I got really like sore hands from doing work downstairs, and um,
Got sore hands.
oh man, it's you don't I
My
don't
right clicks aren't the same right
you
now.
don't understand. I hit my other hand, my left hand with a hammer, so my joints here are sprained. My other hand's killing me.
Jesus.
It's from doing all the heavy work downstairs. So like when I sometimes when I hit the keyboard, I'm like, man, I fucking like I'm constantly doing this. I'm constantly trying to stretch them out, but maybe that's old man hands. But there you go.
Well, I mean, they did pretty good against me, so
Hey, listen, I'll
I think you.
add you to the list of people I've beaten in the last couple of seasons.
I don't think anybody will be too impressed, but yeah, go ahead.
I'll
Did you do? By the way, before we go, did you do the discussion thing? Did I get roasted?
no, we didn't do that. It was a joke.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I would like to let you know I'm not an 1800 player. I'm more like 17, depending on the race I'm playing. If I play against human with elf, I'm okay. If I
Yeah.
play orc, I'm literally like 1400. It's so frustrating.
Yeah,
But
you have to burn all your other accounts, and you only have to have one account. That's the rule.
kind of do right now. Um, I played over 100 games on it. So I just recently made another one because I was streaming a lot more, and um, but I actually, believe it or not, I only have Spy Creed ruined one of them because I tried to let him use it. That's when he was using Colite or whatever, and he I don't know, when I tried to give it to him, BNet has this thing where like you have to like give someone permission that has a different IP. I don't know, something I didn't even know about, and I don't even know the email password for it. It was such an old email,
Hmm.
so he unintentionally stopped smurfing for me right there.
There you go.
And so I only have Kuhhhdark, and then I think my other name is Kuhhhdark too, and then the other one's KD right now. That's for, and I just kind of go like none of my names are like actually Smurf names. Like they're all Kuhhhdark in some type of way. So, but yeah, I know that bothers everybody so much, so I'll try not to do it to tell people anymore. But I definitely have one right now that has over 100 games of Elf, and I went pretty high, and then I'm back to where I am.
But
So
you heard it here first, folks. Dark's gonna be 2000 MMR at Night Elf very shortly.
yeah, okay. You know who was helping me was Razor Moon was helping me out a lot. He was very nice. He
Yeah,
remembered me because we played on ladder and I actually beat him with Undead. And that was funny because I didn't know it was him because he was smurfing. He's another guy that likes to smurf. And Rai told me in the messages after the game, and I just did the stupid 8-minute push thing. Like I surrounded his heroes. It wasn't a big like a very impressive win or anything. I knew it was a smurf by the way he was playing because he was playing like very fast and stuff, but and then he remembered my name whenever I talked to him because obviously that was some garbage can. I was just kind of talking to my chat too when I was playing that game. That's how easy that matchup was for a while.
hmm.
And he was very happy to help me by zug-zugging me and telling me like my base sucks and blah blah blah. And he's like, you can't just run around the DH. Eventually, you're gonna do this and blah blah blah. And then he's very very like intense about like the what do you call that the like the basics,
Yeah.
like to him the base build is like the number one thing to him, so
Well, it's a good starting
stuff like
point.
that. But he took a break though, so I don't know where
Yeah.
he's at. I think he said some IRL stuff.
probably. They'll
But
be
we'll
back.
see.
They'll be back. Well, anywho,
All right, man. Well, thanks for having me, man.
thanks for having you. Thanks for having you. Thanks for coming on, Kuhhhdark, and we really appreciate it. And don't forget, people, if you want to listen to Call to Arms podcast, it's on the YouTube, Mr. Mike MTL, and Kuhhhdark's going to go listen to one of the episodes and hear the sound of the peasants dying.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man.
All right. Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Take it easy.
You too.
Across the lands and seas we roam, each adventure feels like home. A pretty shared